Why is it that despite giving our all, we still haven't achieved anything? Why do the principles of hard work leading to success, which we practiced in school, seem to fail us in society? The answer is actually quite simple. What matters more than effort is the direction in which we apply it. Under the mindset shaped by traditional education, most of our efforts are highly inefficient or even ineffective. So what constitutes effective effort? For example, in the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, there's a story about a village that had almost no water source except for rainwater. The village chief hired two people to solve this problem, one named Ed and the other Bill, who were tasked with fetching and carrying water daily for the villagers. After signing the contract, Ed immediately sprang into action. He bought two large buckets and fetched water from a lake a mile away, transporting it to the village. The villagers built a large concrete cistern to store Ed's water. To keep the cistern full, Ed maintained a constant rhythm, tirelessly hauling water. Although the work was tough, the village chief compensated him well, and he earned a good amount of money daily. No matter how tired or hard it was, Ed persevered, believing that if he worked hard enough, he could earn more money and live a better life. Meanwhile, Bill remained quiet, not fetching water, but instead observing or sitting idly in the village. Since he didn't fetch water, the village chief didn't pay him, so he let him be. One day, Bill had a bright idea and suggested to Ed, "You don't need to carry so much water every day. Why don't we build a long pipe from the lake to the village's water tank? I've noticed there's a noticeable slope from the lake to the village. With a little effort, we can channel water to the village. This way, both the villagers and we will be free. Wouldn't that make everyone happy?" To Bill's surprise, Ed was not pleased but became furious, scolding him. "That's wishful thinking. How could such a thing succeed? You're just lazy and unwilling to work hard." After rejecting Bill, Ed worked even harder, honing his water-fetching skills and replacing his buckets with two larger iron ones, constantly improving his efficiency. He earned more each day and felt content. At this time, Bill disappeared. Where did he go? No one in the village knew. 6 months later, Bill returned with a construction team and began building a massive stainless steel pipeline between the lake and the village. Over those 6 months, Bill had taken the water delivery contract, written a business plan, found several investors, and raised a substantial amount of money. He planned to build a water supply system in the village. A year later, Bill's water supply system was completed, providing water to the villagers 24/7 at a quarter of Ed's price. The villagers were ecstatic, and soon Bill's system was in every household in the village. Ed, unwilling to sit idly by, brought his two sons to help and reduced his water prices to a quarter of the original. But even with 3 people working tirelessly, they were no match for Bill, and it became difficult to maintain their business. While Ed lamented his fate, Bill was already thinking about how to replicate the model in other villages, and even nationwide. Years later, Bill could lie in bed watching TV while his income continued to grow. Meanwhile, Ed ended up as a pipe maintenance worker in Bill's company, still working hard to make ends meet. But why did it turn out this way? Initially, Ed was the one who was more diligent and hardworking, but their chosen types of effort were different. Ed's effort was like hunting, grabbing a gun, killing a rabbit, and having meat to eat in the evening. The return period was short, and the effort quickly yielded returns, providing instant gratification. Bill's effort was like farming, sowing in spring and harvesting in autumn. It didn't bring immediate rewards, but required continuous investment of time, money, and even effort. However, every action accrued cumulative effects, promising greater future returns. Therefore, the correct way to exert effort is not to haul water tirelessly day after day, but to think about how to lay pipes in one's life. But wait, if the conclusion is so simple, why are there still so few people who succeed in turning their lives around on their own? Because in reality, Bill's project might run out of funds halfway, become an eyesore, or the pipeline might be of poor quality, causing the system to collapse. Even if the system is built, the villagers might relocate en masse. Bill might end up not as a successful entrepreneur, but a complete failure, burdened with massive debts. What I want to convey through this story is not that a specific path is the right one, but to understand the different risks and rewards associated with different directions of effort, and then choose the one that suits your situation and goals. After weighing both directions, you might still choose to hunt the next day because it provides regular returns and allows you to switch hunting grounds at any time. However, if the environment worsens, you might struggle to find a suitable hunting ground to sustain your life. Alternatively, you might choose to start farming, for 1 grain of millet in spring will yield 10,000 in autumn. But the downside is, without sufficient grain reserves, you might starve before the crops mature. Or, bad luck might strike, and natural disasters might render all efforts futile. You might even start with the wrong land and seeds, and after a year of hard work, end up with nothing. This is the charm of an infinite game. We always yearn for the strategies of successful people, but behind every seemingly correct strategy lies a huge blind spot, which is the randomness that our own efforts cannot counteract. So given this, what's the point of our efforts? In my view, the point of effort is in the act itself, not the outcome. We actively explore and realize our potential in the process of exerting effort, much like asking Sisyphus, who pushes a rock up a hill, "What's the point of effort?" He might tell you, "Today, I pushed a rock that was a kilogram heavier than yesterday." That is the point. Because the struggle of pushing the rock up the hill itself is enough to fill a human heart. So, what is effective effort? The power to define that lies only in your hands. I wish everyone can engage in this world, contend with fate, and carve out a brilliant path for themselves.